Hey guys, welcome. Happy Friday. So, as stated, going live because it's December and oh my God, is it stressful. So, for those who made it, TGIF, and I'm just so glad that you all are able to enjoy this Friday. And those that are not, well, that's what I'm doing here. We're getting closer to the holidays and we've got those presents and so many activities and events, trying to say yes to everybody, but yet also working on self care and reducing burnout. So that's why I decided to come in here, do live, ask questions. And before anything, guys, just want to let you know that this is just educational, this is not counseling. And for those that do have, want to talk about anything, if you feel that this is more than just educational or coaching, please do seek therapy. Okay, so before anything, how's everybody doing? Hopefully everybody's fine. And let's see how this is working because I'm trying to figure out technology. So it takes me forever to try to do anything live. So we'll see how everything works here in the chat. And give me a minute. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. So before anything, I do want to mention people pleasing because that's usually what I focus on. And people pleasing is huge in the holidays. I talk about it with my friends, with family members. And one of the main things is, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm saying yes to everything. I should say no. Well, one of the first things we should focus on is what people pleasing is. And it is a survival skill. It is something that you're going to automatically want to do so that you could survive whatever situation. And the brain doesn't understand if there's a lion, a tiger, a bear. And so when you do people please, one of the best things you can be is compassionate that you were, doing something to survive whatever situation it is. Then later on, you can reflect back and be like, okay, you know what? We need to do some control here. I can't be people pleasing all the time because that's what causes burnout. The other question that normally people ask me is, how do I know if I'm people pleasing? So normally what I tell people is, how do I know if it's a true yes or a true or a fake yes? Or is it a true no? I'm just saying no because, ABC. And then the whole feeling guilty afterwards too. So, do I really want to do it? You got to really check your values. Is it something I value? And one of the things I always like to mention is gut instinct. If your gut is telling you, I want to do it, or is it something telling you, I have to do it? Like, I don't want to, but I have to. That's when you know it's not a real yes. And then the other thing is, are other people going to be mad at me? Or is something going to happen that I'm not going to like? So, whenever it's a true yes, you're putting yourself under consideration. Yes, you'll feel a little bit guilty, but at the end of the day, you'll feel some sense of relief that you were being true to you. So, that's the best answer I can give you at the moment. Okay. I'm trying to understand how these chats work. Still working on it, guys. Still working on it. Let's see here. Okay. So hopefully the technology is working on your end. I'll watch this later. Self-care. This is something that I always like to talk about because a lot of people think that self-care has to do with like, oh, let me do my nails. Let me go get a massage. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, guys, okay? Do your nails, get a massage. I get them. Amazing, right? Happy Friday. I'm going to go, go to that restaurant and whatnot. But technically that isn't self-care. Self-care has to do with your energy, with your emotional energy. And so it's one more thing to do. You're doing your nails, but are you doing your nails so you could look good for society? Because that's what we need to portray. Self-care is more of like the inside. What am I doing to save my energy? What am I doing to be true to me? And sometimes if it's the nails, great, but are you doing it for a reason outside to look good? Or are you doing it for you? And so let me see. The best way I can say is when you're taking a walk, you're reflecting on your energy, you're going, you know what, if I do this, this re-energizes me. That's when you know that's self-care. Anything that re-energizes you, not an extra thing I have to do so that I could feel better. If you're telling yourself something like that, then that really isn't self-care. So you want to ask yourself, what gives me more energy to re-energize me, who I am as a person? And a little trick that I like to tell people, and this time of the year, I like to say it a lot, is your inner child self. What is it that you would like to do when you were a child? For me, I love to play outside. I love to climb trees. I love to play with the dirt. And till this day, I have to at least go outside in the trails to go running, because if not, I'm going to be in a bad mood. And right away, my husband's like, have you gone outside? Because you're in a mood. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? You're right. And like my friend likes to say, my favorite color is nature. And it is. So because for me, nature is healing. And I love to do that as a child. So it's more of like, what did you like to do as a child? And just reflect on that and see, what are you doing now that made you happy when you were little? So just to give you a little bit of a idea. Okay. So let's talk about some questions. How do I stop overgiving and still be loving? When anybody asks that, it has to do with transactional type of love, conditional love, more of like, okay, if I provide a service, if I do ABC, they're going to like me. So that really isn't love. That's more of a transaction. The question you want to ask yourself is, if I don't provide this service to this said person, will they still appreciate me? Those are the questions that you want to ask within yourself. Okay, let's see here. What else? Okay. People pleasing. One of them here is it my fault? Is it not my fault? People pleasing. You know, because people pleasing is a survival skill, it really isn't anybody's fault. It's you trying to survive. So we start looking at blame for people pleasing, you're going to be stuck. You're going to be going around in circles. So the goal is to figure out, okay, I I was people pleasing. Was it because I wanted to belong? Was it because I didn't want to be rejected? Was it because I was scared? And then you can ask the opposite questions. What is it within me that I want to belong? What for me can I do to belong within myself? So you just kind of want to look inside. Okay, let's see here. Self-care, going back to the self-care here. Choosing rest over obligation. One of the things I like to do is leave earlier than expected because I'm choosing me. Oh, and then I remember a podcast episode I did last year with Jessica Hope Murph. And I remember she said, you know, if I say no to something, and even though I'm doing nothing, that is still my nothing. And that my nothing is amazing. The fact that you just choose to do nothing, not go anywhere, because you're just re-energizing yourself. That I always tell myself that every year. You know what? If it's nothing, that's okay. I'm still choosing to say no. Let's see here. Okay, guys. So just wanted to do a quick pop in here to let you guys know that I'm here and hopefully helping you give some tips and some strategies to survive this holiday season so that you could enjoy. And just to kind of remind you that you can always choose yourself and that's okay. It's not being selfish. So have a good rest of your Friday, guys. Bye.